So today I'm going to be presenting a little timeline of this year in hip hop. These don't necessarily include all of the moments or all of the things that happen in hip hop, but these are some of the most noteworthy things that happened and either caused a controversy or made news. So the first on my list is Usher's herpes case. So even though he's not a hip hop artist, he's an R&B artist, but still, he made a lot of headlines, and it was sad and funny at the same time, since a lot of men actually came out and claimed that Usher gave them herpes, which was funny and sad at the same time. Why I say that is because Usher is one of the biggest names in music, and he is known for his music all over the world, not only in the United States. A lot of people know him all over the world. His music is played all over the world. So it was very sad to see Usher caught up in a case like this, and actually he was not committed of any of the charges. And in 2017 in hip hop, a lot of people were charged of sexual misconduct or something that includes women. For example, I have not included none of these on this list. So Russell Simmons case happened, Nelly's case happened. Well, Nelly was not convicted, but it is what it is. So let's move on. Second, very similar case, but well, not a very similar case, but he's an R&B artist too, R. Kelly. He was accused, and with all honesty, I do believe that most of these allegations are true, because I cannot see guilt on this man's face whenever he does something, you know, like when you're charged of so many things, you have to come out and actually explain what happened or what didn't happen. But this man doesn't care, because he has money and he has stopped all of these women, of course. So this is this is of course sad for a person like me who really loves R&B and hip hop music, and I've been listening to R. Kelly from a long time, and this was sad. And I hope if he's guilty, he gets convicted and he gets charged. And if he's not, then if he's truly not creep like everyone is saying, or the evidence shows, then may he get out of all the cases. So number three, Meek Mill's arrest. Uh, let's talk about his comeback a little bit. So in 2015 he released his second album, which sold very well, 250,000 first week. Then he came out with his second album, which was this year, Vincent Ossis. It did very well, in my opinion. Did very well, 167K first week. A lot of people loved the album, thought it was a very good comeback, and he was winning, and he was doing some features as well, and he was winning. And he got committed of a very foolish case, and I really cannot understand how America's judicial system works sometimes. How can you leave people who have done very big sins and crimes? You let go of those people and you grab onto a person who has nothing, who has done nothing. Like he caught the Wheelie case. He was drawing. I think he was drawing. I'm sorry. He was driving wheelies in New York, and he got charged with a ticket. And afterwards, when he went to the court, he was committed of the charges. And I don't know, man. This is very sad. I hope he comes out as soon as possible. And if the judge really did something, if the judge really did injustice to Meek, the judge gets accounted for that as well. I really hope so. So number four on my list, my boy Joe Budden, his success, how he bounced back in a very major way from 2016 to 17. 2017 was a very big year in music, but the main highlight I can give you is Joe Budden. The show he created, Everyday Struggle, and the way that his podcast is going, and how he created Everyday Struggle, and Everyday Struggle was the biggest thing in hip hop, even though it didn't take too much time for them to be the biggest thing in hip hop. So which was, it was sad to see them disband and go their own way and part ways, but still Joe Budden is included on my list, and it was very good to see someone like Joe Budden bounce back and make waves in hip hop. Of course, a great rapper and now a great media personality as well. I hope it goes out well. And at number five, I have the Nicki and Remy Ma beef. So this was kind of unexpected and controversial. Nicki followed the Drake and Jay-Z rule. She tried to follow the Jay-Z and Nicki rule. I'm sorry, Jay-Z and Drake rule. Only Drake, where she would drop some bars here and there. But the thing is, Drake is clever with his bars. When he drops a bar which is dissing someone, you cannot just catch it immediately. It takes a little bit time to actually catch the bar. Whereas Nicki, she is trying to be subliminal and is actually talking about a person. Like we can clearly see and hear that she is talking about a specific person. Maybe that is because there are no female rappers at the time being. Well, there have been no female rappers that were really making waves. Cardi B was not didn't have the success she has now at that time. So well, not at that time, it isn't a while ago. I think it happened in 2017. But Bodak Yellow just went a few months ago, just went number one, and now Cardi B is the biggest thing in music. So the point being is, it was a very controversial thing, and Remy killed killed Nikki and murdered her career, man. I don't think she will beef, quote unquote, beef with anyone else again because she got buried. She literally got buried. All right, so we have another beef here, which is Cameron and Mace beef. I think it was a very big headline or highlight of 2017 in hip hop because Cameron has been dissing Maze from the last like 15 years. Alright, so Maze never responded. Maze never responded. And the time Maze responded in a very major way. A lot of people have gripes about his diss track, The Oracle. I don't think that a rapper who is being dissed, which is Cameron, can validate what Maze is saying. Even if he did all the things if Maze did all the things he said he did on the song, Cameron would never ever admit that fact that he did do those things. So it is completely invalid. A lot of people who are saying that it is fake and this didn't happen and that didn't happen. It is crazy. I don't care. But this was one of the biggest moments in hip hop as well to me. So at number seven, we have Kodak Black. Kodak Black did a lot of things this year, and when people say they hate Kodak Black, I am one of those people. And if someone comes up to me and says that he cannot listen to Kodak's music because of his tactics, I would never disagree because I agree with them. His tactics are very bad. Like he did a lot of things this year. Mainly the thing he did where he streamed his friend having sexual conduct with some woman, and he was recording and streaming it on social media, which was foolish in every type of way. And the more revealing and creepy part about this is that he was currently at that time facing a sexual misconduct or sexual harassment case, and he still thought that this is appropriate for him to do. So I don't know, man. I don't like Kodak's music. I don't like him as a person. It is what it is. So at number eight, we have hip hop, the biggest genre in music. This is major, but in my opinion, this happened a long time ago. This happened a long time ago. Nelson Music was not able to recognize this. They are now able to recognize it because of streaming, I guess. Because streaming maybe contributes to this, but people were setting a lot of records in the 90s and in the mid 2000s. Other than Drake, I cannot. Well, Drake released Views. That was not a hip hop album, so I don't count that. I cannot remember the last time a hip hop artist in the last 5 years sold 1 million. Yeah, Eminem did come close to selling 1 million, but Eminem is Eminem. Eminem is always going to sell records. He sold like 792, but I'm talking about a mill. Like in the mid 2000s, um, 50 Cent did it a couple of times. Eminem did it a couple of times. Lil Wayne did it a couple of times, which was major. And when Wayne started doing it like one, two, three, I think he did it 3 times. It was very normal for me that it was normal for me to hear that a rap artist sold 1 million first week. It was not a very big deal. But nowadays, I can remember the last time a artist sold more than a rap artist sold more than 750. I really cannot remember. So it is what it is. So number nine. So these are all opinionated. You can drop your list down below and we can have a discussion or a conversation about what you think were the biggest moments in hip hop. But these to me are were the most notable moments of hip hop. Even though, as I said in my last point, that Drake is not a hip hop artist, but he is widely recognized as an hip hop artist and as a rapper, and his albums get recognized as rap albums. So, for Drake to not submit his More Life album, it was an album, it was not a playlist. More Life album, he didn't submit it for the Grammys, which was which was major. Like what I can see, what I can see is he knew he's going to lose. That's why he didn't submit his trash ass playlist to the Grammys. And the point being that no one, and I say no one, had this album, the Drake album, in their top 10. I can't remember the last time a publication put out a list, top 10 list, and Drake wasn't on there. Views made a lot of people's top 10, but this I cannot even see this in the top 20 of a lot of people. People just forgot about More Life, that More Life was released, and I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. So at number 10, this is for a person like me, this is sad. Eminem's album, in my opinion, flopped in a major way. You know, it only sold 260, which is less than Eminem's debut album. And why I say that it is sad is because people like Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, and black rappers sold 1 million, 1.5 million. They those type of artists don't get support from white people, so it is completely invalid for someone to say that those artists sold those kind of records because they had white people's support. There are a lot of African Americans who listen to a lot of music, all kinds of music. For example, let's take a platform like YouTube. You go on YouTube, every music critic I see, 70, like 7 out of 10, 7 of those critics are African Americans or black. So there's no point in saying that he either didn't have the black support or maybe white people didn't support him. The fact of the matter is this, what I'm trying to say here is people, black people especially, had to support this album, but they didn't. They will buy um Lil Pump's tracks, and they will buy Migos albums. They will buy all kind of trash ass music, but they will never support an artist who's actually speaking for them, which is funny. Joey Badass didn't sell a lot of records, but it was good nonetheless, and it got him a lot of exposure. But this album in general, even though it was number one on the Billboard 200, but these are future kind of numbers. These are the kind of records that Migos or Future would sell. These are not Eminem records. His last album, the Marshall Mathers LP2, sold nearly 800,000 records, 792, which those are too much records, and to sell 260 first week, less than your debut album, it is sad to a person like me because again, black people especially had to support this album. He clearly lost all of his white fans because a lot of you you go and ask a white person or even people who don't know much about rap, they would know who Eminem is, they would know who Pac is, some of them, well, most of them will know who Snoop is. These are the biggest name in music ever, and for Eminem to flop in this way is, well, you know what shocked me so much? What shocked me so much is the fact that I watched Everyday Struggle and they had a segment called Over or Under. I think Joe Budden said that he can sell with this his next album more than 750,000 records first week, and I was kind of skeptical about that, but I went back, listened to the Marshall Mathers LP one, then I checked his numbers from Encore to from Marshall Mathers LP to Marshall Mathers LP 2, and I was like, nah, he can sell. And I was like, the more and more we were getting close to the release date, I was like, man, he's going to sell a lot of records. Maybe he's going to have the biggest week of. I was so I was so in belief that he would sell like crazy that I thought he might break Taylor Swift's record. Taylor Swift currently has the biggest first week numbers, I guess. She sold like more than 1 million first week. I thought maybe he can do like Marshall Mathers LP one kind of numbers, but that didn't happen. He sold like the same amount of records as Jay-Z sold, which is not bad, but for Eminem, it is bad. It is very bad. So I think for his next album, what he can do is some he can recoup with Dr. Dre. He can put on some rap features. He can make a completely rap album and just go out because people don't deserve a rapper like Eminem. If Eminem put a lot of money behind this album, it would have sold more than anything in this world. But there was no marketing, there was nothing. I know that all of that revival ad thing, like a lot of people didn't know about it. Come on. Like that was not the best and most creative way to promote an album. And it is what it is, man. I think these are 10 highlights for me in hip hop. These include controversial, emotional, sad, and happy moments as well. There are some moments that I didn't mention, or some things that happened, of course. Cardi B broke. She had the number one record in the country. I already made a video about Cardi B, so discussing how she can sell records, more records than any female artist in history. I will leave a link down below. I shared my thoughts of Cardi B in that video. Alright, man. So I know a lot of people would not like this list, but it is what it is. You can drop your list down below, and we can have a conversation for sure. And till then, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.